Welcome to the Forward Moves podcast, a place where we talk about all things operations and marketing for your fitness business.
And where we bring on industry-leading guests to help you get the inside scoop.
I'm your host, Ash.
And I'm your co-host, Keira, and let's get into the episode of today. Hello. So today we are back with two people you've seen on the podcast already, but never in the same episode before. So we have two of the Forward Moves staff with us, the girlies, FM girlies. So we have Maddi with us, our marketing girlie. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And then we have Ray, our branding girlie.
Hello.
I feel like it's very fitting that you guys are on the same side and I'm over here because it's like marketing and branding all on that side, and then there's me over here who I'm like systems.
Yeah. Look, sometimes you wear all the hats.
Yeah. Thank you. I try my best. But yeah, it's funny because like even our new office setup, and you guys are like, yeah, Maddi and Keira can go sit on that side, and now Ray and Ash sit on their own side. Yep. And Ray pointed out the other day that it's like, yeah, the two girls who can't stop singing on the same side as each other. Maddi and I both won't know that we're singing along to songs.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm kind of glad you're on the same side. You guys stay over there.
Rude. Our singing voices are angelic. Thank you.
No, but I do love it. I do love it. But it's good that it's like at least distanced now.
There's like a big thing in our office of like who's picking the music for the office. And I feel like it's like quite funny. And Ray's probably like the meanest about it, to be honest. Like she'll be like, so are we listening to this all day or?
Granted, Ash does repeat the same song
To be
for
fair,
like an hour.
Yeah. Literally like a song finished and then it started playing again. And I was like, is she watching a video or is she? And Maddi was like, no, she's playing the same song again. And I was like, okay, I guess we're just listening to this on repeat.
It's honestly, and I know there's that specific song and it sounds like actual brain rot. And she played it over and over again. I'm like, oh my God, Ash, please.
When is this going to end?
When is this going to end?
Well, speaking of Ash, she's not here.
She gone.
As you can see.
But not deceased.
No, not gone forever.
Yeah. Please.
She is living her best life in Europe. And yeah, we're here hosting it without her, which is, it feels odd.
It does
is a
a
bit
little
odd.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, and she's left me in charge, and I would like to start taking applications for anybody else who wants to take the boss hat.
Absolutely not.
It's been
really well.
a week and 3 days, and it's been a lot.
I can tell you're a little less happy-go-lucky. There has definitely been a change in tone, but I think you're doing amazing.
Thanks, guys. I feel like there's been less like, not that I fuck around, but like less like I don't stay on the chit chat for as long as I would have before, and I'm like, okay, like I actually have to get things done.
I mean, getting voice notes on the weekend was a definite change.
Yes.
That's never happened.
Damn it, I became Ash like immediately, like day 2.
And nothing bad, just like ideas for stuff. And I'm like, oh, she's like boss hats on.
Yeah.
So weird. I was
Which is
literally
good.
just out on a walk.
Yeah.
And I was like, idea. It's like, wow, you step into these shoes and shit
It just
happens.
happens.
Yeah.
But
But we thought we'd just do like a little bit of a chit chat. And then because we've got the marketing and branding girlies here, we are going to be talking a little bit about both of those areas, which is really fun. But in FM world, I guess things have just been like moving.
Yeah.
moving forward.
That's us. No, I feel like we've got a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes. And then once Ash is back, it'll be like full steam ahead.
I'm actually nervous for her to
Yeah.
get
Like
back.
we did recently launch a whole new website.
Yes.
That's a pretty big step.
moved
That
platform.
was,
Yeah, for both of
honestly,
us.
that was kind of like it just happened and then it was there.
For some background as well, because we were on Squarespace for a while, and as soon as I started coming from an e-com background, working on Squarespace, I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
Why are we
look.
using Shopify? But I get why we weren't. And then I kind of just like uprooted Ray's whole life and be like, okay,
Yeah.
we're going to move basically our whole back end system, because we went from Squarespace to Shopify, and we went from like a different CRM to Klaviyo because that works well with Shopify, obviously. And another CRM that we plugged in as well. And so that was a big shift.
Yeah, which I kind
a
of
fun
like didn't know
couple of
anything about, but
months.
I'm pretty sure like since you started, I think like once a week you would bring up that you didn't like Squarespace and be like, well, we could track that if we were on Shopify and Klaviyo, and I feel like it got put up.
The amount of times you hear, well, if, and I'm like, okay.
Shopify can do that.
A lot of it was to do with that paid ads and stuff. And I feel like a lot of people forget that we have like digital products as well. But running that through Shopify now is just like way better. And hopefully we can have a way better. It looks so much better.
It looks so nice.
So if you haven't seen our new website, go look.
Yeah, have a look.
Go please have a look.
Yeah. It's one of those things that like happen and I know nothing about it.
Isn't that nice?
It is nice. But then like someone will ask me a question, I'm like, I don't know. Or like you'll be like, are we doing blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, I don't know what makes you think that I would know the answer to this.
I just assume you know everything. I'm just frankly like, any question, I just go to you.
Yeah.
But
Thanks. Well, thanks. I feel like generally I do have an answer. Or
Yeah,
I'll
you would be able to
decide
figure
in
it
that
out.
moment.
Or you'll kind of just like bluff your way through it, I think.
Or I'll be like, oh, I don't know. Actually, I've decided it's this.
Like, oh, well, let's go with this then.
Yeah.
Executive decision. I did realize I haven't trained anyone else on basically Shopify or Klaviyo. So
You can't deceive.
So I can't. Well, I mean, you guys would figure it out, but I probably should create some Loom videos.
Probably.
Yeah.
Get onto that.
We
thing.
should do something in our own back-end systems.
Yeah. Yep.
Otherwise, like I feel like we've just been trucking along. I feel like before Ash left, it was an absolute whirlwind before she left.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just been like hectic. And I feel like somewhat dust is settling. And I feel like we're all finding our groove while Ash is gone. And then she'll be back.
Yeah.
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 I want to use this time to be able to like get a lot of stuff done
Get
without
ahead.
getting new stuff added on top. But that's
That sounds great, actually.
yeah, so I'm excited for this week. We did put up a poll on the stories because I was curious to know like what people wanted to listen to. We had like a couple of options up there, like some BTS stuff, something about content, something about marketing, something about branding, and everyone selected like the content.
Gotcha.
I'm like, we get it. Coaches definitely.
No brand.
Okay, there were a couple of votes. We will still talk about that, but
That's why we had your mic so far away.
Yeah, we're like,
They don't
she's just
want
not in it.
I feel like when you can only pick one though, and especially on socials,
It's
I feel like
fine. Whatever. They're all probably using Canva anyways.
Okay, imagine if we had systems there as a question. Like, it's last.
Do you reckon?
On
Yeah.
Or actually, okay, if people if they want to learn about a topic, people don't want to learn about systems. They just want them
someone
there.
to do it for them.
True.
Yeah.
I guess that's like branding too.
Yeah.
They just want it done. They're like, this is what I want. Put it together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
So, on content topic of things. So, I think you wanted to talk about like content creation tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a couple of things that I've been seeing pop up, just like general themes of people wanting to know. Like a lot of the time it's like what content to create, how to do it, how to come up with ideas all the time. So I kind of just wanted to cover a couple of things that I think would be helpful for coaches. I definitely know there's one thing to start with that Ash often mentions, as well as I think Jessie Morgan on one of the episodes also mentioned, was that a lot of the content ideas is actually you already have, and it's sitting in your check-ins and it's sitting in your DMs and it's sitting in all the content that your clients are already giving you, like their common questions, what they're struggling with, all of that sort of thing. If you've got a really good client base and you're like, okay, I've kind of found my customer, these are the people I like talking to and working with, I feel like that's the best place to start to get content ideas, because like for topics to cover, different angles to take with content, education, how to add value, because a lot of people, first of all, they'll go to like what's trending rather than actually going to their customer first. So I think people often get it the other way around. They'll be like, okay, this is a trend. How can I adapt that to me? Whereas you can also say, this is what I want to talk about. Okay, what's an angle I can take that could leverage a trend to make this like a little bit more, potentially just get a little bit more traction. So I feel like a lot of people are making it really hard for themselves with that. that's something I see a lot. And anytime we're creating like social plans or anything like that, it's usually going back to like, okay, who's their customer? What do they struggle with? What sort of content would they want to listen to? And then sort of going from there. And you can add your own unique spin and still leverage trends, because obviously that's always going to help. But it also just helps the unique side of things, because I feel like content's looking very similar in the industry at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what you guys see from your perspective, because I'm always looking at it from like a marketing angle whenever I'm scrolling. But yeah, I
People
don't know
are
about
a
you
sucker
guys.
for a trend. And a trend, I feel like it comes and goes. And if you obviously don't have a super clear brand identity, if you are just hitting every single trend.
Yeah, like people aren't necessarily going to start to trust you, or that you have your own ideas and your own thoughts and things. Like if it's just like trend. Like,
Yeah.
it's good to like reach people and get engagement, but then what are you doing with that engagement?
Yeah.
Like, are you getting them to stick around on your page? Are you giving them information for them to validify you as a coach, and you know about what you're coaching about and what you have to offer? Where if you're just getting the engagement and then you're doing nothing with it and just getting engagement posts, people are going to come and they're going to leave straight away.
Yeah. And you're not memorable. If you're constantly changing with the trends, you're not setting like a clear identity for yourself, which I think a lot of people miss out on, is having that like clear distinction. Like when you think of like Move With Us and like Be Fit and all those brands, you know who they are, you know what they're about, you know their branding,
This kind of does.
you know their colours.
Like this does kind of trickle into the branding piece, because that also helps you differentiate your content, is if you've got a strong visual identity throughout it as well.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. I think it's important to try and not just go with the flow of the
All
trends.
the time. It's good to have a balance, because obviously there's also times where it's like a fun little trend really quick. You can get some like a little bit of extra reach than you might normally do, but you don't want to base your whole strategy off that, essentially, which I know. And it also can just make it really hard to stay authentic to yourself if you're jumping on every trend. Like pick and choose what you liked and also what you enjoy, for sure. But yeah, that was my first sort of tip. Number 2, I think, was just remembering to document everything, especially for people who don't make that much content, or like they struggle to actually the filming part of things. It's just like get as much BTS content, anything behind the scenes, even if it's just like B-roll footage, which is just like that background footage. It doesn't even have to be of yourself. If it's like you driving in the car, or you like creating your like meals and that sort of thing, it doesn't have to necessarily be your face. Or talking to camera necessarily. Obviously that helps to incorporate that here and there, but just trying to document your process as if you were filming like a vlog for your day, but you don't necessarily have to use that for a vlog. You can use that in different other areas of your content. I know the girls here know I like always have my phone out documenting everything, and it can be like annoying to get into the habit of, and it can be sometimes in public it's a little bit intimidating too. But it always means if I need to post up like some stories or some like cut together a reel with some different text on it, I've always got footage that's on brand for us that has us in it, so people can get to know like what our business is like and who's in it and that sort of thing. And having all of that content, especially on days like podcast days, it helps. On days you're doing something a little bit out of the ordinary, that you might be like going to a nicer gym to film, or going out doing some content days, like making sure you're just getting as much content as you possibly can.
Yeah. And I feel like it's just like having that exposure of doing it. Like, it's going to suck at the start. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to struggle to remember to pull your phone out.
Yeah.
But like the more you do it, the easier it becomes and the more natural it becomes. Nothing is ever natural in the beginning.
Never.
Like I'm sure going to the gym, you start doing a movement and it's the most awkward move, like doing a deadlift for the first time.
Yeah.
Awkward thing, most awkward movement ever. But the more you do it and you like go through the cues and you go through the movements over and over again, it gets better. It becomes repetition to pull your phone out, set it up, like talk to the camera. Talking to the camera, I feel like so many people don't want to do talking stories or talking reels or whatever it is, but you've just got to do it.
Yeah.
You know what helps with that too? I feel like FaceTiming your friends and voice note recording to send to your friends also helps with that, because you listen back to make sure, like, you know, it doesn't sound crazy. I don't know, I do that. I don't even listen to your voice notes before you send them, but just getting used to like having your face there because it is kind of like FaceTiming a friend if you treat it like that.
Yeah.
I think you can also maybe a mental thing to kind of combat it is, I guess if you weren't like a coach and you weren't in the online space, maybe it seems somewhat pointless to like take this content, but it is kind of like your job as an online coach to gather this content. So maybe when you're doing it, it's like, I'm not just doing it for XYZ. It's like, I actually need this to like help my business. And maybe you can kind of like go at it that way.
Do you know, I definitely agree with this, and I'm going to take it from a different angle. So sometimes in the gym, I feel awkward setting my phone up to film my sets.
Yeah.
For some reason, as soon as I have in my head, I need to film this because I need to show my coach my form. It's fine. And I assume everybody in the gym is like, oh, she needs to film her form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, she's just filming it for Instagram kind of thing. And I'm like, that's so funny that you're like, no, I need to film this for my job.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if you make that like little mental tweak,
Yeah.
and for some reason like the noise is lower.
Yeah, for
Reframes
sure.
it. Also, like if you see someone filming in the gym, you're never like, oh, it's like, oh, they're a coach and they're filming content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
As long as you're not doing it in like an annoying spot.
as long as you're not being a dick, like don't be a dick. But,
think about it, but
and don't get in anyone else's way.
yeah.
Be
Yeah.
respectful.
And like try not like if you are filming in the I feel like we're just talking about people filming in the gym, but like try not to get other people in it. Like I try my best to like, okay, that person's on the right of me. So like but then you got to put like your phone near them and you, but I'm like, but I'm trying not to get you in it.
Yeah,
Like,
sure, that's a whole other thing. You can also film a lot of content outside of the gym if that makes you uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can film so much content at your house, in your yard, on this like sidewalk, like anywhere. It doesn't have to always be in a gym because I feel like that can also be like one of the hardest places.
yeah.
Yeah.
Unless
For
you're
sure,
in
it's-
like a influencer gym, like in zone gym, like
Yeah.
they only have like 6 people in the gym at a time, and it's because like with the
for
fun
filming.
and it's for filming
That's
and
so
content
sick.
for them to use. Like yeah, it is pretty cool. Yeah, I feel like it's just exposure therapy. The more you do it, the more you get used to it, the more normal it'll feel.
Yeah.
And then the more like authentic it is, because then you don't feel so like you put on a different voice when you record a story.
Yeah.
Like think of it as FaceTiming a friend and just talk to the camera as you would talk in person. I feel like that really helps.
I think
Yeah.
filming stories in your car is a really good way to do it. Like when you're parked.
Okay, good. I was like,
No. When you're parked, but because typically the lighting's good. First of all, because usually there's sun coming into the car, and also it just feels more natural when you're like, this is a place where I always call people when I'm driving, but like it's also just a really easy place to also set up your phone if you've got a phone holder already. Like that's an easy place to start with too, and also no one's going to look at you funny if you're talking in your car because they're like, oh, they're on the phone to someone.
Yeah.
Like
Is that why
that's-
everyone films in their car?
I think it's also just like a habit or like convenient because if you're going somewhere,
Yeah.
I'm just going to film something before I go in. Or like,
There you go.
Yeah.
Because you see all like the food TikTokers and they're always like filming and eating in their
True.
car.
But I think they've like just bought it and they get
they
in
don't
their
wanna
car and they film it.
they don't want to film it outside.
The only time when like people are filming while they're driving, I'm like,
Not while.
how much time do you not have? Like what you can't
Yeah.
film
Don't
that
film-
before you start driving? Like,
Don't film while you're driving.
no.
Unless it's just like a B-roll.
one illegal.
Yeah. I think like it's a weird thing. Like I think a lot of people think it's like totally okay and normal to film while they're driving. But I think it's probably a good idea to remember if you do that, there is going to be like a percentage of people that see that and be like,
It's also
I
not a
don't
good
like that.
look.
Yeah,
If someone
exactly.
was filming while they're driving, I'm not thinking about what they're saying. I'm like, why are you filming while you're driving?
Yeah, I'm like, why are you filming while you're driving? How fast are they going? Where are they driving? I'm
Yeah.
like looking in the background. I'm not really listening to what they're saying.
yeah,
that's
no.
That's just my opinion.
Park
But
the car.
Yeah.
Park the car.
just pull over.
Yeah. Pull over. Pull the handbrake up.
Also, like, I also don't like it because like they get distracted mid sentence,
Yeah.
and they'll be like,
Yes.
and then the indicator. I was gonna say like the ticking, yeah? But like then the indicators on. They're like, and I'm like, okay, you're thinking about what you want to say.
Yeah.
You're trying to merge. Like you're like. I'm like, this is dangerous. This is scary, actually.
Some people might like that because it's like you're on the phone to them, but also just don't.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just don't.
I don't know.
Don't do it.
My personal opinion, and also the law, but the law's opinion as well.
Yeah.
But
No, fair enough.
yeah. So do you have any other content tips?
I was just going to mention one last one because I see this so much. It's one of my pet peeves for people who are like, they're putting all the effort in to like create the content, they're filming, they're editing it a bunch, making it really captivating, and then they just forget to ask people or like to actually tell them what you offer or like to actually give them that call to action to either like sign up or DM me or like I've got spots open. They just forget that last piece and then they wonder why they don't have any like leads coming through. But you also, not all the time, but like just make sure to remember to like put yourself out there sometimes. Like you are allowed to sell yourself too.
Do you think people like they know what to do?
No, but they don't.
People don't. And think of it as like
Yeah.
a boy and you're trying to give them a hint. They don't
They
get
don't know.
hints.
No.
Hints don't work.
Hints don't work. And you don't want to, same ways, you don't want to give them the hint every single conversation you have, but like drop it in there enough times that it like registers. Because people,
I love this analogy.
yeah. Oftentimes though, like you're going to be repetitive with your content and people also get worried about that. Like, oh, I told them about that like 2 weeks ago. Like they've seen like 10,000 bits of content since then. Also more from you. And the amount of times it takes to have something actually sink in, by the time you get sick of it, they're probably just starting to understand it. So
Yeah,
making sure that
true.
you're not being too worried about being repetitive with either your information or just making sure that your offer's there. And if you look at a lot of people in the industry who are doing really well, they might post every second day on their stories like a call to action. And that if sometimes people might get annoyed about that, but it also does work. So you just find the balance of giving the call to action. It just doesn't have to be like, buy this now. It can be like, register your interest or have a look at like, there's just so many different ways you can do it without being too pushy as well.
Yeah. Even like as you're saying that, I'm like, oh, it's actually something I've noticed evidence-based training do. Or even like Adam Sullivan on his personal page, he'll do like a photo dump and the last one is like, sign up to the
Get the
challenge.
ebook or-
like,
Yeah.
get the ebook. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, he's doing like sneaky CTAs literally every post.
It's not that sneaky.
No, but like in my head, I'm like, oh, it's a weird photo to put there. But if I was following his content, interested in signing up, that could be that 5th, 10th, 20th time that I saw it. And I was like, actually, no, I do want to sign up now.
Yeah.
People aren't ready all the time to sign up. It takes a while, but you also just want it to be there when they are ready, or else they might forget
So they
about
know
it,
how.
move on to the next thing. But it's just when it's there, when they're ready to do it. It just needs to be like accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
'Cause,
like,
yeah.
assume that people want to buy from you.
Yeah.
Assume that people are following you and they want to buy from
Yeah.
you. So tell them how.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of lurkers. I feel like I'm a lurker. Like
Sounds so creepy.
no, but like, how many times do you like either brand stuff that you buy from? If it's like e-com or that kind of thing, maybe not from like a service-based perspective, but there's a lot of content you see and you might not engage it. Oh, you're like, oh, that's cool. Keep scrolling, or you're going through stories. You're like, oh, that was a cool story, and you tap through it, and it's like just because they're not directly engaging with it doesn't mean they're not there.
Yeah.
Like making sure that you're giving them that opportunity to engage and like interact with you when they're ready, because just because they're not liking it or commenting doesn't mean they're not there.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I think I'm a lurker too. I do that.
Not like a liker.
No, I'm not a big liker.
I am with my
Yeah.
friends.
I feel rude
Yeah.
if I don't like things.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe it's a slightly older thing. But like,
How about you like 2 years older than me? It's a millennial thing.
yeah.
No, I always like friend stuff. But if it's like a coach or a brand or something, I feel like you've got to do a lot to earn it from me. Some engagement.
You gotta work.
Work for my life.
I know that took you like 3 hours, but maybe something a bit different, you know, to like from a
Yeah,
brand
okay.
specifically.
That's fair.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, those are my main content tips for
Hope
today.
those help. And so we're going to go into some branding things now. So why you shouldn't avoid good branding.
Okay, I'm going to war here.
Oh, strap in.
I'm going to war for my branding girlies. And in this case, it's just me. I feel as though people look at branding and they're like, doesn't really matter that much. And I see it all the time. And I'm here to fight.
I mean, like, how could branding not be important?
Well, surprisingly, you would see a lot of people are like, oh, you need to have your systems in check first, which is all very true.
Kira's like, yes.
Have your systems in check. Get your marketing together. But if it looks like shit, it ain't going to do anything.
Yeah, no one's going to buy it.
Well, I mean, you can have it all there, but
Yeah.
how are you selling for people to get into it?
Exactly.
How does it look for people to get into it?
And this is my beef that I want to pick today.
Do you think it's because people are just saying you can't just get a rebrand and expect everything to transform? Is that
Yeah.
kind of, and then people are taking that a little bit far and being like,
Yeah.
brand isn't important?
Yeah. I think that's probably where they're going with
People
it.
go
It's
from one
Yeah.
little thing to the next.
It's always the
yeah.
extremes. Like,
Yeah,
you have
to the extremes.
This is the way to fix your business, and this is
Yeah.
the only way.
And it's like, I think that we need to remember like all of these things all at the same time are good. Don't just go like one extreme and have one thing really good and one thing really bad. I think it's good to have all of the things right. And I think that branding is usually the one that gets like the ass in the bin.
But I mean, like, if you think about when you go onto somebody's profile and if it like doesn't look that great, you kind of like put off like aesthetics on a brand will get me. I don't know how many
Every
times I
time.
can walk into like, if I'm looking at shampoo and conditioners, like I could not even be looking for shampoo and conditioner. I'm like, if I was looking for a shampoo conditioner, that one would get me because it looks aesthetic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it like
Yes.
stands out. I'll be
Exactly.
like, oof, they've done
However,
well there.
It's not just aesthetics, it's also everything else that comes with it. So that was another one of my points actually. So branding isn't just your logo. It's a million other things. So branding, you can break it down. It's your target audience, your tone of voice, the colors you use, the messaging, the graphics, everything. So I think that when people think, oh, I'm just going to get branding, they think it's just a logo and some colors, but it is like so much more than that. So I think that it's really good to kind of go through the process of really tailoring your branding to your target audience and having that reflect through everything rather than just having like a nice logo, put it through everything else. And I think it kind of comes in hand with marketing where you set up like a lead funnel and you like drip feed emails every few weeks and it just kind of keeps them in the know. Kind of the same with your branding. Like if you keep your branding consistent, it is kind of like drip feeding to your audience. Like if you're using the same color, the same graphics, drip feeding that to your audience. Every week they're going to see in the same color, they're going to see in the same whatever. And then you're kind of like a constant reminder that you're there. Whereas if you're like choosing a different color each week and then you're choosing a different font each week or you're again going off like different trends and stuff on Canva, I think that you might be losing people because they don't exactly know who you are and you're not rememberable if
They
you're
kind of need to
constantly
like
changing.
remind themselves of like, oh, who's that? Instead of just knowing immediately who that is without like having to look at the name of who posted it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
there's a lot of like psychological associations that are built up with
Yeah.
visuals.
Yeah.
And it, obviously like there's a lot of crossover with the marketing elements, but
For sure.
it's like you have to build up those associations over time as well so that people actually, it gets embedded because it takes a lot of exposures across a lot of channels
Yeah.
to actually get a message across.
100%.
It's the same thing when people like, I posted my new logo once.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's the introduction. And then it's sort of, there's such a big piece behind like consumer behavior and the steps that people take when they're making like a purchasing decision. Like all of it's subconscious for most people as well. And it is
For
different
sure.
per person and for the size of purchase that you're making. But I feel like it would almost be helpful even just for you to step through like your initial thought process when, especially through like the Business Moves program, when someone comes and they're like, this is my brand, this is my audience. Okay, let's do the branding. Like what do you go through in your head for like the step process of how you're deciding like what colors,
Yeah.
what's the visual, like what's the thought process that you go through?
Okay, I guess when they come on board, the first thing, obviously you're selling, so we need to figure out who you're selling to. So we really break that down. We break down the demographics, the psychographics, you find out the age, the gender, what they're trying to achieve, what their hobbies are. Like it's quite a process where we really like find your niche target audience because as we all say, if you're marketing to everyone, you're marketing to absolutely nobody. So we really niche it down, find who you're targeting, and then we kind of bring colors in that will attract these people. So say the example I always use is if you're using like mums and bubs, that's who you're trying to attract. We're not going with reds. We're not going with like crazy colors. We're usually going to go a little bit softer. So yeah, we'll kind of put that into colors and then we'll make a logo. And that's, yeah, again, kind of like your brand tag. So that's what you're going to throw out there. You're going to have it everywhere, kind of like with Nike, you know, the Nike brand symbol. So it's kind of just, yeah, it's like your logo. Duh.
It's how to showcase who you are and people know that it's you without needing to put your face there.
Exactly.
And it doesn't have to be literal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of what we talk about a lot as well. Whereas a lot of people will come on board and they're like, I need a dumbbell in my logo so they know I'm doing fitness. And it's not always the case. Like, again, with Nike, they don't have like
It's a
shoes.
tick.
Yeah, it's a tick.
I think you need to put a little bit more trust in your audience to make a new association with that
Yeah.
being so literal. And if you look at some of the really successful brands with a great brand awareness,
Yeah.
it's usually not literal.
It's
No,
usually a random
never.
little symbol that has meaning behind it.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, no one's going to know what it is at first, but you introduce them to it, then they know.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to see it every time and be like, wait, what is that?
It also can like add a lot of value to things once you learn about it. Like one example I know is Verve fitness brand. They've got like the little V. They use the V, and it actually, once I read it on their site, it actually added so much because it's actually the greater than symbol, like greater than the actual V, and they use it in that way as a part of their brand story.
Yeah.
Because they want to be greater than who you were before, and that adds so much value. If
That's
they
cool.
put a literal like barbell or plate, which is what they sell, you would miss that whole. It's like part of storytelling as well.
Yeah, it is. And I think that it also helps you stand out from the crowd. Like there are a lot of people that have like dumbbells or barbells or kettlebells in their branding, and you're immediately lost in that crowd of fitness coaches. So you're kind of taking a little bit of a gamble having something that's a little bit more symbolic, but it can actually be really beneficial in the long run. So yeah, that's my little 2 cents.
And I do want to ask about something else you've noted here about the same topic that you haven't touched on. So I want to check what this means. What is the bakery analogy?
Okay.
Okay, yes.
So you're walking along a street. You want to buy a really sexy croissant.
Oh, okay.
And I'm talking like a 2-tone croissant, like might cost $15.
Like a sweet treat.
Like a
treat.
a sweet treat.
Sweetie.
A sweet treat. And you're walking along the street and you got a patisserie and then you got another patisserie. First patisserie, lighting is dim. There's like just one word out the front. There's no menu on the outside. It's a little bit moody. There's like a plant hanging from the ceiling vibe. Then on the right side, you've got a sign that's like written in Comic Sans, and it's got a picture of everything it sells on the front sign. And there's like a freezer at the front with their iced coffees. Where are you going to find your bougie croissant?
The first one, obviously.
Yeah. So that's kind of like branding. Whereas if you want to sell really nice croissants, but the front of your sign is covered in photos, no one's going to come to you to buy a bougie croissant.
I think that makes a good point as well because it does correlate with price too.
Yeah.
If you want to have a more premium offering or you're wanting to also put your prices up, you want to have a brand and a visual identity that matches that.
Yeah.
So that people don't question that value.
Exactly.
It's a big part of pricing too because pricing indicates value. You can, that's sort of like the biggest foundation of pricing within marketing. You can have the exact same product, same with all designer brands, on face value, they're all getting made in the same Chinese factories, but it's the brand and the visuals and the way they market it is what gives it the value
100%.
and why people pay for it.
Same thing how I felt about moving into our office. Our new
Yeah.
office, I was like, oh, we're legit.
Yeah.
It's just another room.
It's just a space. It's just a visual.
space. And I was like, oh, wow, look at us. So
All of a
fancy.
sudden we're wearing like pants.
I do think we have been dressing nicer.
Me
Yes.
too.
It indicates because
Well,
it
yeah.
informs your
environment.
behavior. Your environment is so important, and think of your branding as your business's environment.
Yeah.
especially online. Because
And then
that is
your
the
branding as
space.
yourself is what you wear. So like we're trying to level up to match the branding of our environment.
Yes,
You
but
do-
that bougie croissant.
We are the bougie croissant.
I feel like you always try to meet the level
Yeah.
in which you are around.
Yeah.
If you're around people that are at a high level, you always try to meet them. You always want to find the balance of like the average. So
Yeah.
Love
That was my little bakery
that.
analogy. We've come full circle.
Yeah, I was like, oh, a bakery. I was like, she's not going to say the same.
Imagine.
where is she going with this?
Okay, so I do want to go into your next topic about consistency.
Consistency is so important, and the same with your branding. I think I already kind of said it before, but just make sure that once you've set on your brand style, you just use it. Use it, use it, use it, use it. Don't stray from it. Just use it.
I feel like I worked so hard on this branding. Please just use it everywhere. Yeah.
Use it like people, like we said, like people aren't going to know it straight away. It's going to take repetition. Like it's going to take people seeing it all the time. So it might not work straight away and people might not recognize it at the start, but you need to keep using it where like if people chop and change, the same with following the trends. If you chop and change and do different things all the time,
You're gonna get
people are
lost.
so confused. Like they have no idea. They don't think that you know what you're talking about or you know what you're doing or that you believe in your brand because you're changing your mind a million times.
Yeah.
I feel like it creates like chaos.
For
And
sure.
I feel like if somebody's putting out like chaotic vibes, their feed's a mess. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be coached by that. Like,
100%.
yeah.
I think clarity visually helps, and also creating some guardrails for yourself when you're creating content also helps you get it done.
Yeah.
Like if you know the style and like the colors, you know where you usually put your logo, all of that, it makes creating content way easier.
Yeah.
Like don't make it too hard for yourself by
Yeah,
changing it all the time.
absolutely.
Like obviously don't have all your content look the exact same, but use those guardrails to then get creative with the actual content itself.
Yeah.
And the actual value portion of it, and keep the visual consistent.
Yeah. I feel like coaches make it so hard sometimes. They're like, oh, I don't know how to do it. And it's like, just use the same format that you just used. Just use it again.
It's okay.
It's fine. It's
And
totally
like,
fine.
I feel like everyone's like, oh, like content creation takes me so long and all that. And it's like, it doesn't have to.
doesn't have
like,
to.
it can look similar to something you've posted before.
Yeah.
That's what a template is.
Yeah.
100%.
That's it. It's the templates for a reason. It's to make it easier for you to do it.
Yeah.
And you just change up the information that's in there to suit the different information. But like people aren't going to be like, oh my God, they posted their logo in the same spot last time. That's
Yeah.
so weird.
They're not going to say that. They say that trust is currency for an online business. So consistency creates trust. And that's what's going to get you sales.
Love that. Do we have anything else marketing and branding to go over?
No, I think I'm ready to get off the battlefield.
You've won.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
I got
just
it.
curious.
I'm good. I'm happy.
There's been actually quite a few updates in like training app
Yeah.
world. I feel
Talk
like
to
everybody's
us.
doing lots. I've spoken about OneFit recently. They've got their messaging platform coming out. They actually introduced Habits recently. So they've now got Habits and messaging platform. They're very close to having their coach app being released, which is going to be really great. I think Everfit in general has had some nutrition updates and just using the back end of like nutrition and everything, which has gotten better. When they first released the nutrition, I was like, nah. Don't pay for it. But it's come a long way. And then HubFit actually had quite a lot of changes too. They introduced templated auto flows like Everfit has that you can map out like your customer experience and all of that sort of stuff. So they now have that in theirs. One of my new favorite things is Notion. Notion now have like a calendar, an email, so you can send your emails there, link up your calendar, and they have scheduling for free.
That's
It's
pretty cool.
all free.
That's amazing.
So you can make recurring booking links. So you can set up like a full schedule. You can do like one time everything. So
that would completely replace Calendly for people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
What else would it replace, just so people know then?
So yeah, it would definitely replace Calendly. If you're using like a different email host that isn't syncing up to like your Google Calendar, then you can actually move and you can forward your emails to the Notion email and then use Notion Calendar. So it's actually like all in one app. So you can use Notion email that has your emails going into it and then schedule everything on your Notion calendar, and then your scheduling is in that calendar too. And it syncs to Google Calendar.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
all for
sick.
free.
Why? How do they make money?
They do have like paid add-ons and stuff like that, like inside Notion, but most of it's free. So
Does Notion do like task management stuff? Is that what a lot of people use it, like project management stuff?
Yeah. So project management, there's heaps of free templates. You can buy some, but so many templates in there. It's actually pretty cool what you can do with Notion. Like I use it for my task list, but I literally just have like 2 columns and it's like personal task, work task, and I just like add to the list.
No, because Notion I've played around with before, but it always is one that seems really intimidating because there's so much you can do with it. I always feel like I'm like, oh, I want something
But you don't
more.
have to use all of it.
I know. But I'm like, there's a little bit more restriction.
Yeah.
No, but I've heard it's really great though.
Yeah, it has been really cool. We actually made someone's opt-in on a Notion template. So it's like a free download to like use a Notion template. So and I put it all together.
Yay. Oh my God, I can't wait to see
It was actually so
it.
funny. I got to like their opt-in sequence and I like their opt-in like creation, and I was like, oh, this is me. I was like, I'm doing this one. It felt so odd. I was like, this task is normally mine. But that was really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I usually am a diehard hard copy diary.
Pen, paper.
Yeah, pen and paper. And I jumped onto putting my tasks on OneNote,
What?
like Microsoft OneNote.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Nice.
how is it?
It's great.
Why would you choose OneNote though? That's the funny thing.
Such a random choice.
I love that.
No, yeah.
Is it because it was in? Is it in Teams?
No, I have like, it's not like a Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Just a Microsoft app.
Ah.
Yeah.
I just
I
love
don't
how
know
you're
why.
like,
Like,
I'm
yeah,
finally
so
going to go
random.
digital and I'm going to use
OneNote.
Microsoft.
Because Microsoft has great apps.
Quick question, actually, for you, Keira.
Yes.
If you have a coach who's just starting, as in like has their business run up, they've got a bunch of clients, they're using the apps, and they're like, oh, I just need to sort out my stuff and be organized. What would be like the platform you're like, okay, chuck everything in here, and this is how you track all your client stuff?
Track all client stuff.
Or like just their business back-end tasks, reminders, all of that stuff.
I mean, spreadsheets still work.
yeah.
And like your apps on your phone work well. Like you can literally use like Apple reminders. You could have like different sections. I'm pretty sure you can have like different sections and reminders for different things. Your training app, you can normally set manual reminders for things. So say you do somebody's check-in and you're like, oh, I want to make sure that I ask them how X goes.
Yeah.
When you're doing their check-in, go to like create a task, set yourself a reminder. You can assign the client to it in most apps. Like it depends on the app. I'm pretty sure it's mainly HubFit and EverFit that do that.
Yeah.
But like, yes, set yourself a reminder or use a spreadsheet. I know that we've been using a CRM called Pipedrive for clients as well and setting things up like that. I would say that's probably like when you're getting to like the higher scale of things. Anything like never think, I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Write it down and use the one location that you write things down in. That's what I found. I found that I had like things on a Word document and then things on an app in my phone and something ever. And then I'd be like, oh no, I keep notes here for that and I keep notes for that here and blah, blah. Like just use one location and use it. I think like, Notion template, you can probably build out a great CRM for yourself.
Notion would probably be a good one.
And they probably have heaps of templates for CRMs. I'm pretty sure that one that I said I was doing a Notion template, I feel like I was going to look into building out like a CRM for them.
Well. Yeah.
But yeah. And it was just where to start with like tracking stuff.
Yeah. Just like I need to get organized to go to the next level. Well, I don't know where to chuck everything.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, using the apps that you're currently in
Yeah.
to the best of its capability and then using one external platform.
Yeah.
If anything.
Put everything in.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're constantly looking everywhere for everything. Except like I know like Google Sheets, you can't get like notifications for it and stuff. Like you can't like set yourself a reminder. I know you can set like past a certain date, like it can change color and stuff like that.
I guess you just have to have it in your routine that you're checking it
Yeah.
every day or every so often.
Yeah. I feel like in the world of automations, how everyone's like, have everything automated, have everything set up automated. I still think like some things still need to be manual. And I feel like people are like, oh, I have to manually do that step. And it's
Like sometimes it will, also you'll remember it better. Or like
Yeah.
if you do some things manually, like that's okay.
Yeah, like,
Something that doesn't
that's
take you a lot of
okay.
time.
Yeah. And I feel like people are like, oh, but it needs to be automated because everyone's saying everything needs to be automated. And it's like, yeah, well, some steps are to win you back time, but every step doesn't need to be automated. And if you just get into that routine of like a simple thing of like moving a client from one tab to another, or like I feel like people are like, oh, that won't just happen for me. And it's like, okay, like triggers can only do so much.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
And then also you don't want to pay for the higher platform. So
Yeah.
there's so much that you can do in Zapier, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
So then people don't want to pay for it. So you can only do one step zaps. So I'm like, okay, well, you can only set up this one zap. We can set up a separate one to do something else. But like if we could set it up all in a flow, you can do more. But
It's just having a bit of discretion of like, is this worth automating?
Yes.
For the time it takes me and for the potential money and time it would take me to automate it.
that's it. So it's like, is the time that you spend doing it manually, is that enough to pay for the automation for you to earn back that time that you gain for that cost?
And for a lot of stuff it would. But if it's really small stuff that's just automating for the sake of automating it,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do it. Just
you can do it.
Sometimes it's nice getting the dopamine of like doing something that like checks it off or like finishes it up.
And then you know, instead of being like, did that automation run?
Oh, I've got to check it. And then you're
I've
like,
gotta
you
check
might
it.
as well have done it.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess just like building those habits of like, at this time, I check that and I move people if I need to. Or like, the onboarding's done, I move them here. Like, and it can be like those little things, but just as long as not like everything's manual,
No,
obviously.
of course.
Otherwise, then you're definitely losing time and you're going to burn out. But
yeah.
yeah, that would be my recommendation.
Yeah. So nice.
Wow.
that?
I think that's everything that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the next time we're recording, Ash will be back.
Yeah.
Yay.
So hopefully we still have the business by then.
Yes.
If this could be the last episode.
Maybe.
See you never. No, well, this would probably be like the last episode, and then the next one Ash will be on. So
True.
yeah.
I hope she doesn't get upset that I said her one repetitive song is brain rot.
I think you said it to
I
her
apologize.
face anyway.
I did, but I apologize.
Yeah. I mean, you don't hold anything back in person anyway.
I mean, you apologize, but like you're not actually sorry.
Yeah.
Because you believe it. You're like, I'm sorry if you're offended.
I'm sorry if you took offense.
Okay, now for the roast of Ash.
yeah.
It's like, I you're still
Anyone
here.
though, like,
Yeah,
you like
yeah.
spam a
that's the
song
thing.
and
I
then you're
will.
like, I hate it.
I'll spam it in the car,
But
not
that
in the office.
Yeah. That particular song though, it sounds like a robot. It's like,
I don't even know
Is
it.
it the Charlie XCX song?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I forget the name of it, but
I don't even know it.
I'm not going to sing it.
Go on.
It's fine. Thank you so much for everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.